There's a saying in Japan, if you change your pillow, you cannot sleep. Perhaps you have felt this too. The first night in a hotel room, no matter how clean the sheets or how soft the mattress, something feels different. You close your eyes, but rest does not come easily. The sounds are unfamiliar. The darkness has a different weight. Even the air carries a scent you do not quite recognize. And in the morning, you wake feeling as though you have not fully slept at all. This is not imagination. It is not simply tiredness from travel or the stress of being away from home. It is something older, something deeply wired into how our minds and bodies work. Today, we will explore why we sleep worse in unfamiliar places, what this tells us about the relationship between our environment and our rest, and why the feeling of being at home may matter more to sleep than we ever realized. In sleep research, there's a well-known phenomenon called the first night effect. Scientists who study sleep in laboratory settings have observed it for decades. When people spend their first night in a new environment, their sleep is measurably different. They take longer to fall asleep, they wake more often during the night, their deepest stages of sleep are shorter and less restorative. For years, this was considered an inconvenience, something researchers simply had to account for by adding an extra adaptation night before beginning their actual experiments. But in 2016, a team of researchers at Brown University decided to study the first night effect itself. They wanted to understand what was actually happening in the brain during that troubled first night in a new place. What they found was remarkable. Using advanced brain imaging techniques, Masako Tamaki and her colleagues discovered that when we sleep in an unfamiliar environment, our brains do not fully rest. One hemisphere, usually the left, remains partially awake. It stays in a lighter stage of sleep, more alert, more ready to respond to unexpected sounds. They called this a night watch. When the researchers played unfamiliar sounds to sleeping participants, those whose left hemisphere was in this lighter state woke more quickly and responded faster. It was as if half of their brain was standing guard while the other half tried to rest. This asymmetry disappeared on the second night. Once the environment became familiar, both hemispheres could sleep deeply together. This finding may sound surprising, but it echoes something that has been observed in other species for a long time. Dolphins, for example, never fully sleep. They rest one hemisphere of their brain at a time, keeping one eye open to watch for predators and to continue swimming and breathing. Many species of birds do the same. Ducks at the edge of a flock will sleep with one eye facing outward, the awakened hemisphere scanning the darkness for danger. These animals cannot afford to be completely unconscious. Their survival depends on remaining partly alert. Researchers now believe that humans have retained a subtle version of this ancient protective mechanism. When we are in a new place, when we cannot be sure of our safety, our brains do not let us fully surrender to sleep. Half of us stays watchful, half of us waits. This is not a failure of sleep. It is sleep doing exactly what it evolved to do, keeping us alive. But the first night effect is only part of the story. Our sleep is also shaped by the physical environment around us. The bedroom, the space where we close our eyes each night, is not just a container for rest, it is an active participant in how well we sleep. A review published in the journal Building and Environment in 2018 examined the research on what makes an ideal sleep environment. The authors, Caddick and colleagues, found that multiple factors play important roles. Temperature, light, noise, and even air quality all influence how quickly we fall asleep, how often we wake, and how deeply we rest. For temperature, the evidence suggests that cooler rooms generally support better sleep. Most research points to a range between 17 and 28 degrees Celsius, depending on bedding and humidity. Our bodies naturally cool as we prepare for sleep, and a room that is too warm can interfere with this process. Light exposure at night, particularly blue light from screens and electronic devices, can delay our natural sleep rhythms. Complete darkness is most supportive of deep sleep. Noise, even at relatively low levels, can fragment sleep without fully waking us. The threshold for disturbance is surprisingly low, around 35 decibels, quieter than a normal conversation. And air quality matters too. Stuffy rooms with high carbon dioxide levels have been associated with poorer sleep quality, more restlessness, and groggier mornings. At home, we often adapt to our environment over time. We become accustomed to the hum of a refrigerator, the light from a street lamp, the particular temperature of our bedroom. These become the background conditions of our rest. But in a new place, everything is different. The thermostat is set by someone else. The curtains let in an unfamiliar amount of light. The sounds from the hallway, from neighboring rooms, from the street below, all are new. And so our sleep suffers, not only because our brain is keeping watch, but because the entire sensory environment is signaling that this is not home. There's also a deeper dimension to this experience, one that touches on our emotional relationship to place. Environmental psychologists have long studied what they call place attachment. This is the bond we form with the spaces where we live, work, and spend our time. It is the feeling of belonging, of familiarity, of being at ease. In 2010, researchers Leila Scannell and Robert Gifford proposed a framework for understanding place attachment. They described it as having 3 dimensions: the person who is attached, the psychological processes involved, and the characteristics of the place itself. Home, they suggested, is the most common and often the strongest site of place attachment. It is where we feel safe. It is where our routines are embedded. It is where the walls, the furniture, the very arrangement of objects reflect who we are. Other studies have found that homes are often described as places of restoration, where we can recover from the demands of the day. They are associated with feelings of safety, privacy, and positive emotion. When we sleep at home, we are resting in a place that our minds and bodies recognize as ours. The environment carries meaning. It says in countless small ways, "You are safe here. You can let go." When we sleep somewhere else, even somewhere comfortable, that meaning is absent. The room may be fine, the bed may be soft, but nothing says home. And perhaps at some level, our brains know the difference. I have thought about this often in my own life. I don't really like traveling, or more precisely, I don't like sleeping while I travel. Sometimes I wonder if I could sleep better during trips, would traveling feel much more enjoyable? Traveling is exciting. It brings new experiences, new places, new perspectives, and yet it is also tiring. What feels strange is this: the hotel bed I sleep on is often more expensive than the one I use at home. The pillow might be carefully designed, the sheets perfectly clean, and still my sleep is usually worse, sometimes much worse. I wake up tired, and that affects everything I do the next day. I have asked myself why. Maybe it's because the environment is different. The temperature feels unfamiliar, the humidity is slightly off, the air smells different, the light comes from another direction. There are unfamiliar sounds, doors closing, footsteps, voices in the hallway. Even the knowledge that someone stayed in this room before me, or that strangers are sleeping above, below, or next door, quietly changes how my body feels. At home, my body knows the space. It recognizes the sounds, the darkness, the silence, even the small imperfections. At a hotel, everything may look comfortable, but nothing feels familiar. And that makes me wonder, maybe sleep is not only about comfort or quality. Maybe sleep is deeply shaped by how safe, familiar, and at ease our environment feels to us. So what does this mean for how we think about rest? First, it suggests that the first night effect is not something wrong with us. It's a feature, not a flaw. Our brains are doing what they evolved to do, staying partly alert in uncertain conditions. Knowing this may help us be more patient with ourselves when sleep does not come easily in new places. Second, it reminds us that the bedroom environment matters in ways we might not always notice. Temperature, light, sound, air quality, these are not luxuries, they are conditions that directly influence how well we rest. Small changes at home, a cooler room, darker curtains, a quieter space, may support better sleep over time. Third, and perhaps most importantly, it suggests that our emotional connection to place plays a real role in how we rest. Home is not just a location, it is a relationship. It is the accumulation of countless nights, countless mornings, countless ordinary moments that teach our bodies to relax.
We cannot always sleep at home. We travel, we move, we stay in unfamiliar places for many reasons. But perhaps we can carry a small piece of home with us. A familiar pillow, a scent that reminds us of our own bedroom, a quiet ritual before sleep that signals to our minds that it is safe to rest. Sleep is one of the most fundamental things we do. It is how we recover, how we restore, how we prepare for another day. And yet, sleep is not just about the body. It is about the space around us. It is about what our environment tells us quietly in the darkness. When we are home, our brains can fully rest. When we are elsewhere, part of us stays awake, watching. This is an ancient gift, a quiet protector within us. And understanding it may help us, wherever we are, find our way toward better rest. Next time, we will explore another dimension of how our surroundings shape our well-being. Until then, may your nights be restful, and may you always find your way home.